The 2022 NFL Draft is later this week, and Matt and I are going to continue our countdown of the top 10 picks. Before we go any further, go back and check out our previous episodes where Matt and I talked through number 10, 9, 8, and 7 picks of this NFL Draft. But Matt, I got a very simple question for you. The Carolina Panthers are now on the clock. What do you think the Panthers do with the number 6 overall pick in this draft?
I think the Panthers go after a quarterback because they desperately need to, because
Certainly
the
do.
Darnold experiment has not worked out. And as we've talked to, Panthers insider Ellis Williams, he said that Matt Rule is probably going to be on the hot seat. I think they go quarterback. I think they go Malik Willis, because this is a guy that has the most upside out of any quarterback in this draft class. You always liken him to Cam Newton.
Yep.
Why not go to Carolina? I've also heard comparisons to Josh Allen, just in his size and the way he throws the ball.
Sure.
I think this is a guy that, if you really are set on Darnold, have Darnold start and let Willis kind of learn and study a little bit. But this is a guy that can come in and make a difference, and I think Carolina needs that, and they need to start planning for the future and take advantage of the youth and the talent they have now, but also set themselves up for success in the next few years.
I agree. I think the Panthers need to have the future in mind. With that being said, I think they're going to draft the tackle Ike Ekwonu out of NC State. Obviously, perhaps one of the best tackle in this draft, whether you like him or Evan Neal, the tackle out of Alabama. Those are the two premier pass protectors in this draft. And I think the Panthers go with Ekwonu at this point. And again, you mentioned it. This team is more than a quarterback away, to say the least. Obviously, they have Christian McCaffrey, who's a superstar. The defense has been solid, has been average at best the last couple of years. So the problem really hasn't been on the defensive side of the ball. But offensively, obviously they have quarterback issues, but getting a tackle, somebody who you can kind of build your offensive line around for years to come, I think is of utmost importance, especially if Ekwonu falls to you at Carolina at number 6. I think that's something you have to do. Again, getting Christian McCaffrey, who we know has battled with injuries, getting him more protection helps. Getting whoever you line up at quarterback, more protection is going to help, because part of the reason Sam Darnold, Cam Newton, PJ Walker, these other quarterback options of the past couple of years haven't worked out is because they really haven't been protected very well. Carolina's offensive line has been pretty putrid the last few seasons. Obviously, one guy doesn't change that whole deal, but it'll certainly take a right step in the direction if they could bring in Ekwonu. And then obviously at the quarterback position, I think the Panthers, with Baker Mayfield, with Jimmy Garoppolo still out there on the market, I think either before or after the draft, I think that's the route they end up taking, the veteran quarterback route, as opposed to getting one of these Flyers quarterback, Willis or Pickett in the first round, which is probably a little bit too early than they should be going at number 6. So I think that's the route they take, getting Ekwonu, a great tackle out of NC State. I think that's what the Panthers end up doing. But how about the number 5 pick with the New York Football Giants? We talked about them. Yep. Later in the top 10 in the episode previously, but what do you think the Giants do with the number 5 overall pick here in this draft?
I think they go offensive line like you thought with Carolina. I think that they go with Evan Neal, the tackle out of Alabama. This is a guy that I think, like you said, Ekwonu and Neal are the 2 premier tackles in this draft. I like Neal a little bit more, and so I'm going to go with him at 5, and this is a guy that not only can he play left tackle, but he's played right tackle for Alabama. He played some guard as well. He's very versatile. He's athletic. He's big. And, I've heard from some scouts and guys that have been watching him, and I agree that he is the most ready to be a great pass blocker in the NFL come day one. He's going to be able to do that. And when you think about the Giants, you think about what they talked about as far as, trying to do right by, Danny Dimes, and they have these wide receivers.
Danny Dimes still gets me to chuckle every time.
I mean, you have to give him, and you talk about Daboll and his ability to run a really good passing offense. Why not shore up your offensive line and get another guy that can be a good pass blocker?
Yeah, we completely agree here. I also think the Giants select Evan Neal with the number 5 overall pick. Again, this dude is just massive. I think he's 6'7", 350, just a grown man, somebody who's going to be able to, from day one, manhandle defensive, pass rushers, linebackers at the NFL level. And I agree. I think he's probably the most sure thing in this draft, especially when you're looking at in the top 5, the top 10 prospects. This is somebody that you can lock in at left, right tackle from day one and not even think about it the rest of the year. And you mentioned the Giants, They spent a lot of money on that offense last year. It didn't really yield a lot of results, but obviously the Giants brass spoke up this offseason that they want to support Daniel Jones, that he's their guy. They want to build around him. It's nothing better to a franchise quarterback or somebody you think is a franchise quarterback than getting, a stalwart left tackle, somebody to protect their blind side. And obviously, again, similar to the Carolina Panthers situation, Saquon Barkley is a superstar talent, a superstar running back. But last few seasons, he's been riddled with injuries. Obviously, you would think, to kind of offset that, you would bring in somebody like Evan Neal who can protect your quarterback, protect your ball carriers and whatnot, and hopefully get this offense moving, because the defense really hasn't been the problem with the Giants the last few years. It's been the offensive side of the ball, and hopefully with Brian Daboll, new head coach, hopefully, and again, another guy like Evan Neal on that offensive line, I think hopefully we can finally see this Giants offense kind of take off, because they have hella talent. Obviously, Saquon Barkley's there. I love Kenny Golladay. He didn't show too much in his first year with the Giants, but again, this man led the NFL in receiving touchdowns in 2019. He still has game in him, and obviously they have other pieces, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, and whatnot. So there's pieces there.
Yep.
I think Evan Neal would hopefully help bring that together just a little bit more, but we agree here for the number 5 overall pick. We'll see if we're right in just a couple of days as the 2022 NFL Draft tips off, but hit us in the comment section. What do you think the Panthers and the Giants do here at number 6 and number 5 respectively? But we'll catch you on the next episode of Simple Question for Scott Proctor and Matt Morris right here. We'll see you then.